What is going on, MBL? This is the Commissioner Corner podcast. It is June 13th, and this is episode number 40. 40 episodes. As always, we are presented by web3ks.com. Check out web3ks.com for your webpage, social media, and all your other graphics needs for a very affordable price. The MBL final season of Madden 18 is here. We are kicking off the final season and an end to a great cycle. We're going to bring up those not top 5 Browns and look at how they can repeat as MBL champions. We're going to break down each division for MBL season 32. And then we're going to close out the show just looking back on Madden 18 and looking forward to Madden 19 and just talking about this cycle, the growth that MBL has had, the great things that we've done and what we want to go ahead and look forward to in the future. So, Bomber, as always, here we are again for episode number 40. How you feeling tonight?
Yeah, this is the Sean Kemp episode tonight. And Lip, you probably, that reference, does it go over your head? You know why I'm saying that? Put him on the spot here. I mean, this is easy peasy. If you're an 80s baby, you should know this.
I am not an 80s baby.
Yeah, well, you know what? You should still know this. All right, Sean Kemp was number 40 for the Seattle Supersonics. Don't forget the super when you say it, because him and Garen Payton were quite the dynamic duo. And that's a basketball reference on a
I was going to say, I almost couldn't even be confident in what sport that was. I thought it was basketball, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot.
You don't know who Sean Kemp is? Oh, wow, man. He's one of them.
I think he's
beast. Would have killed in today's game, too. They probably would have put him at the 5 just because he can run the floor.
Welcome to NBA Podcast.
All right, let's get started. What do we got for the first topic? We talking about repeat champions. What about the 5-year sim?
Yeah, exactly. We are going to be talking about the 5-year sim. That is coming up on, I believe, July 24th, and we're going to be simulating through a couple of seasons of Madden to see where our teams go, what the computer does for a bunch of our teams. We're going to be crowning champions of that. We're going to be seeing who does the best, at how players go. I'm really excited to see how, because, I mean, my team is going to have a big question at quarterback specifically, but there's a whole bunch of other things around the league that we're excited to see. We're excited to see those Buccaneers. We're just excited. I think somebody brought up Daniel Shirley might be a free agent. So those are a bunch of things that we're going to get to talk about and watch, and that's going to be broadcast live for everybody to see.
I actually got a little drop I want to put in here about the 5-year sim, give you guys a little context of how this is going to work, because you're probably wondering, can I stay on? Can I at least make my chances? No. Everybody's going to be removed from the league, and likely Lip's going to be the only person left, or maybe me. Lip does the advances, so he's just a little bit more confident in that. I don't want to screw things up too bad. Basically, what's going to happen, you're going to remove everybody from the league. Then he's going to go to his settings and turn everything on auto, so we don't get stuck with teams not being able to play because they don't have the roster fill on, right? So he's going to turn his roster fill on. So everything's going to be simulation, quarterback, simulated. But here's the thing. Do you guys want to put trades on for computer trades? I mean, do we want to just see how everything plays out, or you want to leave it there? I mean, that's all up to y'all. I'm open for really anything on the 5-year sim. And the winner of the 5-year sim is basically going to be voted upon by the panelists and the people at watching live. So everybody's going to have a vote. The people that watch have 1 vote, and then every person that's on the show, I think it'll be me, Lip, Sonny, and OSU, will each have a vote. So it'll be 5 votes, and the person who gets the most votes is going to be the winner of the 5-year sim. And on 365.maddenbomberleague.com, we'll have a website dedicated strictly to the 5-year sim, kind of like what we have for the EA Access tournament kind of thing. It'll be under the MBL Honors. It'll say 5-year sim. You'll click there, and it'll say for Madden 18. And another team I want to throw out there as a dark horse, maybe not even a dark horse, Lip, is the Buffalo Bills. You play them, they're like a 92, 93 overall team. I played them last year at the end of the season. I said, wow, this team is really good. Those are the teams that might flourish in the opportunity of a simulation to take Homer's thumbs away from the equation. It might benefit them more. Also, you said that you don't have a quarterback. Daniel Shirley's on a tag right now. Yeah. OSU, do us unisolated. Do us a favor. Resign that guy. See where he ends up. See if he really wants to be part of the Jacksonville Jaguars after the season lasts. Let it all play out. Let this be the drama of the 5-year sim. It would be hilarious if Daniel Shirley signed a 7-year a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers and said, hey, I want to play with these plethora of wide receivers. They got this offensive powerhouse, and he comes to the glory, which is the NBL Pittsburgh Steelers and NFL Pittsburgh Steelers, I guess. That would be interesting, but an isolated might lock him down. I don't know. We haven't talked that out. But, guys, you want to leave trades on. What are your thoughts on that, Lip? Real quick, like 10 seconds.
Oh, I think that the trades is there's two aspects of this. There's one that says that's not really the NBL side of it, but then the other side of it, it's a whole other realm to see some crazy cool stuff. So I actually kind of like it because
so do I.
It kind of really makes a whole bag of things that you don't usually see, and that would give us so much more content to talk about. That would be really cool to see. So I'm actually a really big fan of it now. That
and the way that we're going to advance live on a thing, I was thinking we do week 6, week 14 kind of thing. Week 7, week 14. So we go to the regular season. Week 1, we look. Week 7, we look. Week 14, we look, and then we go through the playoffs. I was thinking something like that. I'm sure we'll break it down better than that way, and maybe that would be too time-consuming. But we're thinking about a 4-hour show, Lip. So those are all the details we have to work out. So if you have any great ideas about the 5-year sim, which is a new tradition, a new brand in Madden Bomber League football, I'm really excited about it. Because if I can win a 5-year simulation, Lip, this is how I'm looking at it. And I know we're going over on the time right now. I got my producer in my ear telling me 5-year sim time to talk is over. But we're going to push them just for a second,
3 minutes back.
I'm looking at this from a competitive standpoint. So me and you always competing, right, for things, you know. I wanted that to be the what's the award, the Madden Bomber League Network, what's the award for the one that OSU gives out at the end of the year? I won that one.
Achievement in Media Excellence.
Achievement, the AME Award. Thank you. As I stumble through that. Obviously, this is not prep. Achievement in Media Excellence. I won that. So I'm like, yeah, I got that. Okay, I want this 5-year sim. I want these championships. I want this. I want to have my hand just a little bit in everything. So I'm coming after it. And I drafted this quarterback that I wasn't even going to take. And now I look back and I'm like, because I honestly was thinking, man, that'd be cool if Shirley came to Detroit. As I told you, we talked on the phone about this. Now I'm like, this dude's got like that 94 throw accuracy, which is supposedly what's only used in simulation. So I'm like, oh, this dude might actually be good. And I'm interested to see how my team plays out. If I built something, I know I was drafting towards the back a lot, and you as well. So it's interesting to see if our teams just completely fall apart at this point. To be like, oh well, the user was pretty much holding them afloat. But those are all things we think about. Very excited about that. Guys in the chat right now, he said skins ain't winning nothing. Yes, Porter, if you win the 5-year sim, you get a banner on the website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. It'll say 5-year sim under the MBL honors. It'll be at the bottom on that tab. You'll click there. You'll have your own banner on that site, and you will be the 5-year sim champion, which is kind of important. I mean, we're here for team building. So there's an opportunity for people to actually win, an award or win a banner that is real. I mean, I definitely think it's not something to be frowned upon or looked at less. I don't think it's the NBL Super Bowl, and I'm not even that close to that, but I think it's still something like, wow, that guy builds really good teams.
Yeah, I think that's basically the whole idea of it, to look at those teams and see how they do as they were built. But like the big thing, that quarterback you drafted, I'm really excited to tell this story of how you ended up with that guy and the whole thing, like on the draft night, what was going through both of our minds over that one player. And if that ends up being the player to carry your team into a really successful 5-year simulation, that'd be really funny and a great hilarious story to tell.
Yeah, because they say that the simulation only uses that one attribute, and his is 94 for some weird reason, which is like
that's another layer to
which is another thing about Madden I don't understand. And this isn't a show for Madden, but I just don't understand. Like if I just simulate in CFM, like let's say that's all we do, me and you, Lip, right? We just simulate unless we play. So that means my quarterback would just be crazy good in these simulations, and I wouldn't even have to worry about developing them because he'd just be crazy good because he's already has that one little attribute that, even though it's an outlier to everything else that he has on his page. But let's move along. What do we got next coming up here? Topic number 1. Let's move it. Hit the music. Browns repeat. Hit us with it, Liv. What do we got?
So we're looking at the Browns, and there's been so much talk about the Browns not being top 5 for the last couple of seasons, and then they go out and they win an NBL championship. But they didn't just win a championship. They beat the Patriots, the Chargers, the Steelers, and the Lions all the way en route to that championship. So with that impressive road to a championship, we're asking the question of, can the Browns repeat? Do we look at this schedule? Do we look at the team that they still have after a great season, NBL season 31? Can they make their way back to the MBL championship and take it home? And I want to start off by saying it looks like they've got themselves off to a hot start as they just completely walked through the Tennessee Titans 41-10. I mean, the Titans didn't even show up. Their defense wasn't that impressive, but the offense is kind of what shines to me, because they've got such a great talent at quarterback. Was able to win them a Super Bowl his first season. Now he's in year 2 and he's looking to dominate even further. So those are my initial thoughts on what I'm looking at for the Browns and if they can repeat or not.
Yeah, they brought in Tevin Coleman at halfback, which was going to be a question coming in. They end up just prying him away from the hands, of the New Orleans Saints, a team that really did well with Tevin Coleman. Now Tevin Coleman's with the Cleveland Browns in a position that they needed to bring in a halfback. I think they kind of, I think it's going to be about the same level of contribution that they had last year with Duke Johnson Jr. Joe Watson looks great. Corey Coleman looks great. But first, let's talk about, are they top 5? Yes. I think at worst they're 5. At best they're 4. And at the very worst, maybe you got them at a 6. But man, you'd have to really have some bias opinion at this point to have them there, because I mean that title run was pretty incredible. It was pretty phenomenal. The defense was really good. As you've seen, they only give up 10 points to the Tennessee Titans. So their schedule's not that difficult this year, outside of the fact that they just have the unlucky fortune of playing the Steelers twice a season, but that's not going anywhere. I just think, man, this is not going to be a team that's going to just fall apart and not do anything. I think they have a legit chance at repeating here, but Starr's top 5. I mean, you heard it here. I 100% agree. What do you think about that? Is he top 5 in your mind or not? I mean, in the NBL overall, I think he's top 5.
Technically, based on winning percentage, he is. However, no, I think he is. I think take a look at where these Cleveland Browns were a few seasons ago. We were laughing, just hysterically laughing at their offensive strategy. It was 350 rushing attempts and 200 passing attempts. This team, they were not confident in the passing game, and now they win a championship on passing. They've got Demanch, they've got Watson. They went out and they built this team to pass, and now they're one of the top threats in NBL in the passing game. So I would have to go and say, yeah, especially from where they started to now, they have to be a top 5 team. And not only all of that, like I said before, beating the Patriots, the Steelers, the Chargers, the Lions, all in the same championship run. That's one of the big things that you've got to do to be considered one of the great teams, and they did exactly that. So after many seasons of fighting and not allowing them to be top 5, I will give in to an impressive season and agree that they have finally made that top 5 list.
And I'll also say this: I got a slight for you though, Lip, that we can put out. The top 5 ain't what it used to be. Used to be a little bit better. Top 5. Now it's kind of diluted. That 4 and 5 spot, it ain't what it used to be. And yeah, that's why he's in. All right, so what are we talking about? Now we get some Cleveland Browns. Can the champs repeat? We've seen some Cleveland Browns practice. The funny thing is, I think this defense gets overlooked in Cleveland because they might have used the passing game to beat the Chargers, used the passing game to stay with the Steelers, but their passing game was not good in the Super Bowl. Their defense was phenomenal. Their passing was not good. I think there were 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Or 3, something like that. Wasn't that good. But,
correct.
You had a rookie quarterback. You expect a down game, but that defense is just... And then they win 41-10. Defense only gives up 10 points. Only gives up 73 rushing yards to a team that averaged, I think, 110 a game last year.
Oh, so, and with Bryant Vance in the backfield. That's impressive.
Big ups to the Cleveland Browns defense. I don't think they get enough credit. People don't talk enough about them. But that's it. Okay, so the question is, can they repeat as champs? Yes. Are they going to repeat? No, I never take a repeat of a champion just because it's hard. It's very, very tough difficult to do. When's the last time? Here, I'm going to ask the chat this, and you're going to have to go to the 365 website. When's the last time somebody repeated as champion in the NBL? What season was it, and who did it? Let's see if we can find that. And then before that, I think it happened a lot early. Like, I think it happened more often in seasons 11 and younger kind of thing in the NBL. But now that the parity and the competition in the game, Madden has gotten better.
I think it's happened 3 times.
And what are the teams?
The Chiefs, the 49ers, and the Steelers.
And two of those teams was way young into Madden.
Oh yeah, this was 25 and 15 very early on.
Repeating is a hard thing to do.
It's so tough.
Mentally, it's hard too, because you do become complacent in certain aspects of your game. You either start trying to drive the ball down the field too much, you start looking in one direction too much because it's been there. And I think the high of coming off a Super Bowl, the downside is you lose all that confidence going into the next season. So your guys aren't playing at that level. So you get used to that playoff run and you get just overly confident kind of, and then things happen. But let's move on. All right, so Browns top 5, opportunity to repeat. I say yes, but I'm not going to say they're going to repeat. I want to put my money on it. But I think they're a good enough team to make a run. Your thoughts real quick, like literally 10 seconds. Let's move on from these.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. They're a top 5 team. They're 1 or 2, and I don't think the Chargers are 1 or 2 anymore. The Browns have now taken that spot. So yeah, I think that they could repeat, but I don't think that they will. So that's our thoughts on the Browns. Congratulations, Star. You got us to talk about the top 5 Cleveland Browns. But moving on, we're just going to pop into each division real quick. We're going to look at some of the matchups. We're going to look at what the Bleacher Report guys put out for their predictions for each team in each division. We're going to start with the AFC West. Going to make this real quick. Man, these Chargers have just completely fallen off a cliff. They have them going 10-6 this year, which would be a terrible season based on previous seasons. I don't think they'll be that bad. I still think they'll win the division, but boy, they are absolutely not a playoff team to me anymore, Bomber.
The Chargers aren't a playoff team?
I meant a championship contender. I mean, they'll be in the playoffs.
Okay.
But they're not. I'm never going to pick them. You really
rounded the edges on your statement by saying that. Okay.
Well, no, I meant they're not going. They are absolutely done competing for championships.
So it goes back to this thing that the Chargers are a ground and pound team, and the age and attrition of the star MG2K. As he goes, they go, and he's not going in the direction of really having big years anymore. I mean, he was 7 carries, 59 yards, so that's 8.4 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns in week 1. They lost 35-23. Big thing was, this is the guy that's carried the ball in the last 5 years, 260, 262, 255, 249, and you exclude one season, he carried it for only 160, and that was MBL season 28 because he got injured. Okay, so this is a guy that gets a ton of carries. Week 1, he gets 7 carries. Oh man, that right there. So I thought the 10-6 was a little low. I say, man, 11-5 at the very least. I'd go with the 12-4 for them. They've been 13-3, 14-2, 15-1. We've seen them there, but to go to a 10-6, I'm saying no way. That's crazy. But then week 1, they take an L to the Denver Broncos. So the hype train might be real in that regards. I also got the Raiders going a little bit better than 8-8. They've been a 9-7 team pretty steadily. So let's move to the next division.
Yeah. So next division, AFC South. Now, once again, I think this is a division that is going to be won by the same team as before. It's going to be the Tennessee Titans. But once again, they're at that 11-5 spot. I think they went 12-4 last year. They're known as the 10-6 team. I'm not seeing any team really stepping up to take this away from the Titans. And of course, I'm not seeing the Titans going on a deep playoff run, but as always, they will be there. But I do like the Jaguars at 8-8. I think that they have a real shot at being at 9-7, maybe even getting 10 wins. I know that they just drafted a really great wide receiver. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he's paired with McGowan, who is an amazing receiver in Jacksonville. So I think they actually have a real shot to get into the wild card position, but I still think the Titans going to go take the division title.
Yeah, and you see the Texans on there. I think they have the Texans at a 9-7. No way the Texans go 9-7. This is a team that, if you really look back at their games, if one or two things just go differently, they're probably 11-5. But the only problem is those things always seem to swing negatively against the Houston Texans. How you have them 9-7, I don't know. They're a 6-10 team to me because they just seem to have bad luck. I mean, before the half, in a game versus Jacksonville, they're down, I think, 3 points. Or yeah, it was 16-13. At the time, and they have the ball with like 11 seconds left. Instead of taking a knee, they run the ball, they fumble. Jacksonville gets it back, they kick a field goal, they go up 19-13, which completely changed the outlook of the game because in the fourth quarter they were down 2 points. If you would have taken that 3 away from the Jaguars, they would have been ahead by 1 with like 2.5 minutes left. So just things like that, you always just look and go, it's just head scratching moments for Houston Texans fans, and there's a lot of them, and they're consistent, and they're not going away at least anytime soon, maybe in the 5-year sim. But having them at 9-7, I think, is a little high.
Yeah. So moving on, this one's my favorite one from the AFC to talk about, and that's the AFC East. And I'm looking at the Jets and the Patriots because they have been talking a lot of smack over the past couple of weeks. They are really eager to get this season going, and the BR guys have them going both 10-6. I'm not sure who they're giving the division to, but I'm giving it to the Jets. I don't think it's a huge competition. I think the Jets will have a little bit of a battle, but I think the Jets are a much better team. They really did some nice things this offseason. I think that they can outscore just about anybody in the league, and that's why I give them the edge for the division.
All right, so let's talk about one thing, this glaring thing that just sticks out to me as far as seeing those predictions. Okay, New England Patriots last season was 9-7. That's NBL season 31. NBL season 30. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Okay, so NBL season 30, they were 8-8. So 9-7, 8-8. The season before that, season 29, they were 9-7. Season 28, the New England Patriots were 8-8. Season 27, the New England Patriots were 10-6. Season 27, NBL season 26, which was out of box, the New England Patriots were 9-7. So I said 10-6 once, right? That's their best record.
Yes.
How come every time Bleacher Report does a prediction for this New England Patriot team, they are 10-6 or 11-5 when they've never gone 11-5, and 10-6 happened once many moons ago, back when Star was, we weren't even calling him top 10. He was just a midget in the chat, right? This was way back. We don't even give credit. If Fry was talking about this and it was a Spurs championship from back there, it'd be so long ago. It would almost look like it when there wasn't central AC in everybody's house. So listen, how do we keep coming up with these double-digit W's for this team, especially now in a division where you know it got stronger because now there's championship pedigree inside that division? That's my head-scratching moment. While I think the Patriots have won the division a couple times, I know they have, and they've won it rather convincingly inside the division, not convincingly to the rest of the league. I'm just confused on how we keep coming up with 10-6 and 11-5 for this team that has consistently underperformed. Somebody give me that answer. I'm still waiting on it right there. And the Dolphins 3-13. I mean, can we go lower? Can we go 1-15? I mean, I wouldn't mind. The Bills 5-11. I always think Bills 6-10 to 9-7, somewhere around there, so that they edge a W off of them. Whatever it may be. But I think the Jets probably are 11-5, 10-6. That's probably about right. I think they'll have some ups and downs. New players, older players at wide receiver. But end of the day, he has championship pedigree. You have to respect that.
Yeah, that's a really good breakdown of that division and where those Patriots stand and stack up against those Jets. So moving on, we've got the AFC North. We saw last year the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens all make it to the playoffs. It's a tough division. The Ravens came about a field goal away from being tied with the Steelers in the playoffs. It was a great game. And then, of course, we talked about the Browns go and win the Super Bowl. But I'm going to point something out right now. I think 11-5 is way too low for the Browns. I think that their schedule is really in their favor with the divisions they play, finishing second in their division last year. So I think the Browns are set up schedule-wise to take over the division. They actually have a real good shot at it this year, but don't sleep on the Ravens. 8-8, I think, is a little low as well. I'm just saying.
What? About the Ravens?
8-8,
Ravens are the team. Dude, they had their shot. When you look back last season, you're going to say, that was the Ravens' chance to kind of ups. You know what they should have done? They should have gone for 2. At that point, they should have just manned up and said, you know what? We'll never get back to this situation. Look at the situation. We have to go 2 yards to take a lead on a multi-championship, arguably the best in the NBL. Yeah, you got to go for that strike right there. You don't want to play for overtime. They played for overtime and missed the extra point. This is something you do not come back from as a franchise. I expect this to be a really, really down season for the Ravens. That's just my perspective, because I know that blow has to hurt, and that was your one chance. That was like the shank field goal that happened in the NFL to the Minnesota Vikings. That was their opportunity right there. They had a miracle happen last season in the NFL, but that just prolonged their L that was upcoming, right? But that was their opportunity there, and I think that was their opportunity because then they would have been going into a division game against the Cleveland Browns. And division games, as I said, are the toughest to play, toughest teams to beat because you know your opponent. But I'm not with you on the Browns either. I think Browns are 11-5 simply because this isn't a regular season team. This isn't a team built for regular season. This is a playoff team. We've seen it multiple times. When do the Browns get hot? Week 14 to week 17. That's when they lock in and focus. It's just been the MO of this team to get hot at the end of the season. They're not a regular season team. I think they're bored with regular season. And the Bengals at 4-12, I think they benefit from the boredom of the Cleveland Browns. So I think that's where it's at. Ravens, I think about 8-8. I think this division is perfect. I mean, you could probably go 14-2 on the Steelers, but if you want to be conservative and not really jump out there, 13-3, you're definitely going to be. If that was the over and under, yeah, I could see it pushing at 13-3, 14-2. Maybe the Browns split with them, but they're not a regular season team. They only get up to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't see it. I mean, I understand they won a championship, and that might make them even less of a regular season team. Just not interested. All right, what's the next division we got?
Moving out into your territory, we're going to head out to the NFC now. We're going to start with the NFC West. And we're talking about the Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers, and Rams. And these are a collection of teams that, since the Seahawks were completely ageless for a few seasons, since that time, this division has just been a giant question mark. But BR has the Seahawks coming out with a strong season at 11-5, making a good playoff push. The rest of the division struggles to get more than 4 wins. I think that's dead on. I'm not sure. I really can't put my thumb. I haven't watched the Seahawks team a whole lot. I'm not exactly sure what to expect from them. But I do believe that they made it to the NFC Championship last year.
Did you see that Rashard Swan highlight number 15?
Oh, yeah.
From last season.
And wow. Now he's a Raven.
And now he's a Raven. But that's a dying franchise, man. They're so emotionally affected. He's probably going from one place.
One thing, though, I will say, the Ravens now, they have too much talent wide receiver. They don't know who to get the ball to. They have too many options. I've seen it firsthand now. It's a bad move because now they have too much talent and they don't know what to do with it. But anyway, that's back in the AFC North.
That division.
We're moving on.
That division is what it is. There's really nothing more to talk about there. Seahawks probably win 10 games, 11 games, maybe high of a 12, low of a 10. They're going to win that division, and they've won it the entire cycle. The Seahawks have not lost that division this entire cycle. So same as the Los Angeles Chargers. But what do we got next?
Yeah, so up to the NFC South. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my directions. This is basically the division that's been between the Falcons and the Saints for this entire cycle. And the Saints actually go out and they drop their first game of the season. I do believe it was against the Vikings. And it's just kind of one of those things that I'm not sure where to put these, because sometimes both of these teams, the Saints and the Falcons, have a 12 or 13 win season, and then they come back with a 9-win season, a 10-win season. They just don't seem too consistent, but I've really liked what the Saints have been building out there. I think that the Falcons are too reliant on one person on defense. I don't like their defense. So I'm going to have to edge this out to the Saints, and I think that they could make a playoff push because they've been building a great roster for a couple seasons.
Yeah, Saints have been doing it. They are the current division winners, I believe, in the division. They've been kind of flip-flopping there with the Atlanta Falcons. It was NBL season 30. We had the New Orleans Saints win, then we had the Atlanta Falcons, 29 was the Saints, then the Falcons on 30, then 31. Today, once again, it's the New Orleans Saints, so they've kind of been going back and forth. If the pattern continues, we'd all say it's the Atlanta Falcons, but the Atlanta Falcons offense has changed so drastically since the last time they won the division. They've become an underneath, speedy receiver, but go underneath, screen plays, swing plays, all these kinds of really to the flat throws, and I think that just doesn't really play into Brody Denton's strength, and I don't think it plays into the strength of the offense. I think they're very confused on the offense, and I think that's essentially their Achilles heel moving forward. But let's go to the next division. What do we got?
NFC East. You got the Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. I'm not sure that we can really talk about the Redskins, Cowboys, or Eagles taking this division because they don't really have a big bright spot. But BR, Bleacher Report, has Porter and his Redskins taking this division from Nemo. The Redskins going 10-6, the Giants going 8-8. Boy, I am not sure that I can get behind that, but I would be extremely excited to watch it because Porter gets extremely excited over this stuff. I would love to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But what I will say is I can see it happening because the Giants, they start out 8, 9, 10 wins, and then they just kind of fall apart towards the end of the season. They are the opposite of the Cleveland Browns in this sense. And that's where I could see the Redskins doing it, but the Redskins are too much. They hurt themselves way too much to lock them into that position, in my opinion.
All right, I see this division going 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. Cowboys, Redskins, Giants, three-way tie. Honestly, I don't see that, but if that's the way that they're going as far as they believe the Redskins hype, well, at the best, the Redskins are going to be in a tie at the end because they just don't have that identity. We've talked about it this entire cycle. They don't have that pull-away identity. So if they are atop the division, I guarantee something will slide and it will make it a tie at the end. It will come down to a tiebreaker. But I'm leaning towards the New York Giants taking this again. Obviously, I think it's flipped. I think the Giants go 10-6. I think the Redskins go 8-8. I think the Cowboys probably go 7-9, and then the Eagles are going to be at the bottom of that division. Obviously, that's my opinion, just my opinion. But I don't see the Redskins doing it. I think they still lack identity. I think this team's still going to struggle, and when they are bad, they're really, really bad. I know they have Jordan Howard. This is his sophomore season on the Washington Redskins. You want to get a little bit more out of him. I mean, he ran 189 attempts for 744 yards. This is a guy that hasn't hit 1,000 yards since MBL season 27, but he's making over $10 million this year at halfback. He's 28 years old. He hasn't hit 1,000 yards in what, 5 seasons? My gosh, that's not good. Why did they pay this guy? Well, he's a 93 overall. Just hasn't played up to his potential. So, yeah, I'm going Giants, then Redskins, and then followed by the Cowboys. But the Cowboys always like to play spoiler, and I think that's where they really are going to hurt the Redskins because they'll end up they could sweep the Redskins. They just have that kind of ability. All right, what's next?
Yeah, so we're going to be heading into our final topic here. We're going to be talking a little bit about Madden 18, maybe a little bit about Madden 19 and see what comes up. But before we get into that, make sure you get your questions in for the Crossfire segment at the end of the show. After this next topic, we're going to pull questions from the chat that Unisolated pulled, and we are going to go over them and answer your questions. But right now, Bomber, we're looking at MBL season 32.
Who did that Commissioner Corner Reflections graphic? Does it Unisolated know?
I do believe it was JY.
Pretty good. That's not bad. Shout out to JY for that. All right.
But we're starting MBL season 32, and we have, started this Madden, what seems like yesterday, and we're already looking at Madden 19 stuff.
Hey, did we skip the NFC North or what?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Oh, we don't have to talk about it. We can go real quick. We know how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Let's get in. He's already got the
Chicago Bears.
Let's not go back. Let's not switch. Hey, the Chicago Bears are not a bad team. The Vikings are not a bad team. The Packers are not a bad team. I think this is the deepest division has been as far as teams go. I think it's 4 teams can beat any team in the NFC at any given time. So big shout out to the Packers and Vikings. I've seen them play. I played the Packers. I haven't played the Vikings yet, I don't believe. Two good, better owners as far as like depth goes, as far as in our division. Obviously, I think better owner on the Vikings, but I'm saying Packers have improved. Bears are playing the best they've played, and the Vikings are still that he can still beat anybody. So yeah, big shout out to them. Let's move on though.
Yeah, so I skipped that entire division because I didn't want you to talk about that division, but
okay, all right. Well, I understand.
I was just joking. But yeah, Madden 18. Where do we look? Where do we think we've started at a whole year ago, and getting to this point where now we have so many shows going on. We have MBL Live, and now the addition of bonus coverage. What is the biggest memory from Madden 18 about the game or the network? Anything to you? What
is the question? What are you asking? What is the biggest memory from Madden 18?
Yeah, what is the best thing about Madden 18?
My biggest memory or MBL's biggest memory?
Either or. I said it can be about Madden or it can be about the network
MBL,
or the league.
Well, I'll give a little bit of both. Okay, so the MBL's, and he's putting me on the spot here. We do not go over these questions, and hence why he stumbles through the question he asked.
I asked the question.
And I don't. Okay. All right, here we go. So the biggest moment for MBL, I think, was getting our streams hosted on EA's channel. I think that gave us a lot of exposure, and we'll continue to build that relationship and have that kind of accessibility to being hosted on Twitch by the EA Madden NFL Twitch stream. I think that was huge for us network-wise. I think OSU has done a great job growing our network. Even Sonny, that 4Verts Twitter, if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. They're talking everything Madden 19. It's becoming a crazy asset for the NBL. So I was breaking it down last night. I'm going to let y'all into a little conversation I'm having with the inner circle group of guys. I was having a conversation last night, and I was saying, hey, NBL has 3 different parts now. We always have the league of what it is, and obviously 3-time Daddy Leagues winner, 2-time League of the Year for League Crawler. I mean, that's big-time stuff. So the league is already prestigious on its own. The network, it's already at the next level. If you guys watch the EA Play stuff, I mean, phenomenal job OSU does. We have NBL Live, the flagship show, the entertainment value, the quality value, unmatched. It's been phenomenal for us, and the growth in the amount of games and the quality of games has just grown because we're all getting time on a mic. We're getting time on here to talk and time on here to essentially grow ourselves as well as grow the brand. Now we got this little outward facing thing over here, 4Verts, and it seems to just be catching a really undercurrent, kind of a grassroots kind of thing over there with 4Verts. We're talking the game, we're talking what's going on, what people who are gossiping about Madden 19, what to expect, what the features could potentially do, what could be the potential future of Madden. So we have 3 different categories kind of right now, and 2 are very well established, very prestigious, and one's on the come up. And really, I wouldn't put it over like as being on the come up unless it really was. And the interaction that Sonny's doing over there on the 4Verts, I think that's another thing that is a late kind of bloomer to the party for this Madden 18 thing that I go, okay, he's been doing this for 3 Maddens now, and it seems that really he's starting to get the respect of the audience, and absolutely love that. Now, for inside the game, I think to me, the biggest thing for NBL, and I'm probably thinking you're on the same page with this, is the parity of the championship winners.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't had a repeat. Show me another league that hasn't had a repeat. This isn't a knock at another league. This is because, I mean, we've been in that boat where we've had a lot of the same teams winning before, obviously, because that's how Madden usually plays. One guy finds a way to play with the personnel he has. He stays with it, and it becomes something that people just cannot match. We've never had a Madden cycle end where the same person has never won twice. It's crazy what's going on right now, and I think that is a huge asset and testament not only to the players in NBL, but to the game Madden 18, because the parity was there within our rule set. Of course, I always have to preface it with that. It's created this parity that gives hope to everybody in the middle. I mean, Star missed the playoffs this year. The Vikings missed the playoffs this year, and they're Super Bowl champions. I don't think you usually say that about a Super Bowl champion. Usually they're always in the playoffs, but the game plays so much differently than before. I think parity in the league, the opportunities with the Twitch, and then the growth of our 3 kind of brands. We compartmentalize everything into NBL, the network, and now this 4Verts thing growing. A lot of opportunity moving forward for the NBL.
Yeah,
and a long-winded answer.
Well, I think that's like the biggest thing for this league is that, I mean, we've talked about it. I think we've talked about it a couple times now, is how 6 seasons, there's been 6 different champions, and you know, people want to look at rules and say that rules help people, all sorts of assumptions and stuff. But 6 different people go on and win a championship. It's just one of those impressive things that I'm excited. I hope there's a 7th. So there's got to be some. Sonny, this is your year. But other than that, I'm really excited to see a more consistent and constant product of NBL. And I mean, we have NBL Live, and now we have bonus coverage, and it seems like almost every night of the week you can pop in and check out some kind of NBL or even grid related game, and always watch something that we've kind of created here and put together. And that's the biggest thing. Is especially whenever I was in college, I loved watching video games. I love watching streamers. It would give me a taste of games that I might want to try. It would turn me off from games that I thought I wanted to try. But with Madden and this community, you get to get in here, and whenever new people are coming in, you get to share this experience in this community with them, and growing that has been extremely exciting. And I think bonus coverage is one of my favorite things to have come up just recently. Even, I mean, even late in a cycle, you can always come up with new ideas and grow your league. But That's just a little bit about Madden 18.
Also, I want to point out that we got $900 we raised for the Wounded Warrior Project, which is close to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely a great thing. And you overlook things like that because we do so much positive things, and this isn't tooting our own horn, but honestly, it's within reason to do it because we do a lot of positive things within our group. I mean, if people inside the community only know this, the money we raise for people that are a part of our MBL family and our brotherhood, it's not coming from people who have a plethora of money. It comes from the working middle class, mostly 99%, that are donating their hard-earned money to help one of our brothers out. And I think that's very important. And we were able to do that on the outside view here for the Wounded Warrior Project as we donated $900. So that was really important.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing. I mean, there's tons of stories of people winning. I think that was for the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament, and people, you win $5, $10, $40, $100, and people were donating those winnings back to that project, which is something cool because you don't see that a lot. I've seen people that take money from that, and it's just like, one of the cool things is that even whenever we're giving out free money and stuff, people are still willing to donate it back to a good cause that, a lot of people are impacted by, which is a really awesome thing that a group of 32 guys from all across the country got together, started playing Madden, and are able to donate that amount of money to a great cause. But
mainly Ohio. It seems like there's just a lot of guys from Ohio.
There's a large concentration in Ohio.
Let's hurry up through these last things. Let me take over here. Who's on your top 5 list? Go real quick. We're just going to ask Lip these questions. Who's on your top 5? Go. Doesn't have to be in order. Just go. Lions. Oh, all right. You got nothing, Lip?
Oh, I didn't have push the talk out in.
All right. So talk.
You, me, Gub, Star, Sunny.
Top 5. Okay, that's a new one. All right, when is the next MBL game night? You're actually going to have to ask OSU on that. He's the one that heads the game night. What games y'all want to play? Grid, this comes with y'all too. Y'all can jump in and play with us as well. Other games that are coming out, maybe during the time where EA Access brings out other titles into that little what is it? It's the EA Access thing that we pay for, right? Yeah, you can jump in there and games that are available there. We can do any games that are hot. I mean, we were doing Fortnite. We tried Friday the 13th. It just wasn't the same as it used to be. That game is dead for us, most likely. Also, the next question is, which rookie will have the biggest impact? I'm going to have to say the backup quarterback selected in the first round from the Atlanta Falcons that plays behind superstar development Brody Denton. He will have the biggest impact. His clipboard presence will be unforgettable. His cheering on the sideline will be Tiger Woods. I heard he's got that Tiger Woods kind of fist pump when Brody Denton makes a nice throw. And that guy's just going to be phenomenal. And I expect to see him in the 5-year sim. Like, when he hits free agency, he might be a big-time guy people go after. But outside of that, it's going to be a lot of standing on the sideline. Lip, who do you think is the biggest rookie going to have the biggest impact for any given team?
Well, I was also going to go with a Falcon, but he's a halfback and he only got 8 carries, and he had a lot of yards. I'm not sure if they're going to go with that guy, but I'm going with Devron Roberts from the Texans. Already had a big first game, 129 yards, 2 receptions. I'm excited to see this 5'10", 174-pound rookie develop in Houston.
All right, that's going to do it for the show here. This was broadcast number 40, Commissioner Corner Podcast, episode number 40. Lip, any final thoughts?
No, absolutely. Thank everybody for coming out. I know that you guys really enjoy this show, and it has allowed us to get on here 40 times and talk about this league that we love, this community that we've put a lot of hard work into, and I really appreciate everybody.
And we broke the number, the highest number of viewers concurrently on a YouTube stream for us for Commissioner Corner. We hit 37 tonight. Our highest before that was 33. So it's nice to see us pushing that. So number 40. Commissioner Corner episode number 40, as I stumbled through that at the end, turns out to be a huge success. So I guess we got to give credit where credit is due. Behind the scenes, pulling the strings and setting up all the visuals that you see. Isolated doing a great job with that. Don't sleep on him. He does a lot of work behind the scenes. Yeah, big shout out to him and everybody coming out today. I appreciate all the new followers. We're going to try to find ways to interact with y'all a little bit more as we push forward to these episodes. As we approach episode number 50, which we do every other week, so it's going to be in 10 weeks. We'll be at episode number 50. That's going to be interesting. That's if we stay on schedule after this season ends, which likely we usually take a little break between MBL season 33 and 32 since it will be a new Madden. There won't be any in-league stuff as we try to keep this centric on what's going on in the league. But that's going to do it for the show. Thanks for coming out today. June 13th, 2018, episode number 40, Commissioner Corner Podcast. We'll see you next time here on the MBL Network.